Juggernauts are the best trait in merge tactics, and today I'm gonna prove it by going for Juggernauts every single game. But to truly show their carry potential, I'm gonna use a different second trait in every game and figure out the absolute best Juggernauts comps. Now I wanted every comp to be unique, so I made these dominoes and I spent an hour or so building comps with minimal overlap. I have to use the wizards multiple times, but the only other time I'll repeat cards is in the noble and undead comps, which seems fair since they have more cards already. Dominoes actually turned out to be a great way to visualize and craft comps. So, I'm here to announce our newest merch item! That was a joke. That was a joke. I do recommend making your own dominoes at home though, and if you think I should make a short on how I did mine, let me know in the comments. Anyways, let's get started. Alright, for the first game, we are going Noble Juggernauts, and we're going to want to use the Musk. Since we'll have Knight, we only need one Noble. The thing is, I'm going to get two anyways, just because we got to get something else. So I'll try and grab the Musk earlier on, and then see what other Noble I can get. Ooh, nice Goblin Machine. Let's promote the Barb. I'll probably grab the Musk next round, and then we'll be pretty set. Based on how I'm doing with Elixir, I might hold on to the Barb until it becomes a 5-star, just for the chance of a Skeleton King or a Golden Knight. But we'll see. The nice thing about this modifier when we have so many good 5-star troops in the meta right now is that they're unblockable, so we can just get whatever cards we need. Well, it turned into a Valk, so scratch that, but still think we're in a good spot. One guy's running Assassins, we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Alright, we managed to take that guy out. So now, we're on the lookout for a Skeleton King. We do have the Prince, so maybe I'll hold on to the Prince, as a matter of fact. And go with something like this, because we're not against the guy with Assassins. This is looking a little promising. Alright, I could stick with Prince. I could go with something like Golden Knight or another ranged card, because we do only have the Musk for ranged DPS. So I could look for something like a Princess. Not sure. But so far this comp is doing pretty solidly. The Musk's getting a lot of good opportunity for her ability from the shields of the Juggernauts. We did take our first loss there, but this comp is really performing well right now, so wouldn't be surprised if we can go all the way. I should focus though, so that I don't throw it. Alright, we're now against the guy with Assassins, if I'm not mistaken, so I'll throw together a little bit of a build here. He does have the Executioner, which is a little bothersome, but this comp is going pretty solid, so I think we might be able to take the win here. He does have a meaty E-Giant in the front, which is a little worrying, but I think we should be fine here. The thing is, he has a lot of single target troops, so the Skeleton King's ability is going to get a lot of value. Alright, we knocked out the guy with Assassins. Okay, one opponent left. I'm thinking a setup like this might do well. Alright, I feel good about this build. I think we got a great chance to win. Placement-wise, is there anything to look out for? He seems to be rotating, so maybe I'll try and get some blocking going, but time's pretty low. I think we should win this. Alright, last thoughts while this round gets underway. I think Noble Juggernauts is a pretty strong synergy. It boosts your front row troops and back row troops, which isn't that helpful for Juggernauts because Juggernauts involves a lot of layering stuff. So it's not the greatest synergy, but still, as you can see, serves pretty solidly. Let's go. Easy first win. Next up, we've got Clan. And for Clan, we again only need one troop actually. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the Barb and then we're gonna go for the Prince for the Brawler buff. And I think that build should be pretty strong for us. I don't think we're going to win this round because he has a very strong starting hand. I'm expecting the Barb to mostly serve as a buff to the Prince. Again, that's probably the main thing that it's going to provide for us is that extra health. But that extra health is going to be really valuable for the Prince once it's all shielded up. It'll just be so tanky and it should be able to get a lot more value than it typically gets. So this should be one of the tougher comp matchups, but we do have a lot of synergies in this build. So I think this should be pretty solid for us. Okay, I threw in a machine there just because we didn't really need the stab goblins and we need a machine later on anyway. We have our Barb for Clan, which is nice. Okay, now we're getting to the serious point in the game. I have to start building a lot of elixir up. Okay, we've got our 2 brawlers in, we've got our 2 clan in, and we have a 3-star barb. Okay, we're in a good spot. As long as we can secure a knight, I think we should do pretty well this game. We have one opponent playing assassins, which isn't too concerning as we have no backline troops in this comp, actually. And just like that, we're in the top 2 with the guy playing assassins. So we need a knight here. We need to play relatively quickly and try and get one. And there's our knight. All right. So we're now in a super good spot. All we really need is a setup kind of like this. And then we'll be able to knock back the more threatening troops. There we go. We got a nice solid front line. All right, this guy's comp isn't too badly intimidating me right now. We have plenty of health to tank the baby dragon shots, and it's not doing too much at 1 star, so we should be able to clean this up in a couple of rounds. All right, we've knocked off half of his health, but it would be advisable to start blocking his stuff, I think. Now, I'll grab a goblin, even though I figure that there's probably a lot in the pool, so we're not going to have much luck blocking if he really wants a 3-star. All right, we got the baby dragon on the bench. Hopefully, we take the win this round. He's got the 3-star ghost. Unfortunately, weren't able to block that in time. But if we just have a little bit of patience, I think we should win this one. It's coming down to the wire against the ghost. Yikes. All right, it was closer than I would have liked, but we are now in the lead. So ideally, I can get a little bit more strength in my comp, so it packs a little bit more of a punch. I think I'll go with something like this and move the prince over to the right so that it targets the ghost at the last second. That's what I'm going to do. Alrighty. Oh, I sold the wrong thing. And I couldn't get the goblin machine. Yikes, tragic. Alright, if by some miracle we don't end up getting it, then I can go for the Skeleton King next round. And we'll have the 3-star goblin. But I think we might be able to clean it up this round, or we'll just lose. That was quite the sell, though. I'm pretty sure the comp is doing its work properly. We just had some terrible gameplay by me. But yeah, we managed to take the win anyway, even though I made a colossal slip up at the end. But yeah, we're 2 for 2 so far. Pretty solid. Next up is Rangers, and let me tell you, this comp has been a struggle to put together. Now, the way I'm doing this challenge is I'm kind of forcing out the comps every round, which is not how you want to play the game. You usually want to wait until later on in the game when you have your elixir built up and stuff to decide what comp to go for. So that way you don't get blocked, you don't get stuck, you don't go for something somebody else is going for. But the thing is, I'm trying to show specific comps, so I kind of have to force it out, which means that sometimes I'm just going to get bad RNG, I'm not going to be able to get it. I don't really want to show games where I can just never build the comp that we're looking for and lose to RNG. But if I do put together the comp, I'll show whatever happens, because if it's not the strongest comp, I do want to be transparent about that. We do got an archer, which is good. I think I'll probably cycle the Valk here, or because I do have a giant skeleton. Okay, we have our juggernauts. Now we can start looking for our rangers. And the rangers that we're going to go for are the archer and the princess. We're going to get clan from the archer, and we're going to get noble from the princess. And there's our princess. So here we go. We've got the comp built. Now we'll see what happens. We'll see if it can manage to pull through. Missed a last-second merge on the Valk there. That's unfortunate. But we do have our comp put together, and it's looking pretty strong. I feel pretty good about this comp. We're not up against any assassins, which is going to be good for us. Now, the thing about using these troops for rangers is they don't build up quite as fast as some of the other rangers would. And we're going to end up using rangers again in a different comp as kind of a backup trait, and you'll see how much faster those ones build up. But again, we are sacrificing a little bit of that build up speed for the extra traits we're going to get, which are going to be really beneficial for our juggernauts up in front. All right, let me cycle a little bit more. Huge. We get a knight. See if I can maybe pull out another ranger last minute, but it's not really looking like it. Hopefully we'll be able to knock down a good portion of this guy's health, because he's definitely the #1 contender. Luckily, we have a 3-star machine, which is going to hold him back a lot, stop the Dark Goblin from charging up his multiplier. And we do have a lot of stuff on the Queen, so I think we're going to win this. Not too concerned about that matchup, mostly because of the machine, but I will want to block his Dark Goblin, I think. Now, in this upcoming round, a lot of stuff's gonna become available because one of these players is likely gonna get knocked out. So I'm gonna focus on blocking this guy's cards because I think he's gonna win. And clan-wise, we're blocking most of them already, actually. So I think we are probably in the best position out of the three of us. I'd like to get my hands on a queen, I think. That would do well for us. I think I'll sell the princess if... Okay, he got knocked out, so let's pick that up right away. Get a Dark Goblin, might as well. And then we're looking for merges. Any merges. There, big one there. And kind of running dry a little bit. We'll get rid of the Dark Goblin, grab a princess, but I don't know if we're going to be able to get any more merges. It's the final 1v1 against this guy. Probably should have held on to that giant skeleton, to be honest. We could block it now, but I need to upgrade my princess again. So I'm just going to try and get that as fast as I can, but I don't know if we're going to be able to get it back. That was a bit of an aggressive play, but it might have paid off. He might be blocking it at this point, though, so tough to say. Luckily, we got the giant skeleton in front, and we have our shielded juggernauts, so hopefully that's not going to get much value at all. He has the 4-star Dark Goblin, which is a little concerning, but I still think we got a good chance of winning here. I should be cycling just in case it goes to another round, but this could be the last round. We managed to grab our princess, but we are going to lose there, unfortunately. He had a very strong back line, though, so there's little we could do with no kind of backline threat besides the princess, and the princess was so low leveled, but second place, not so bad. The next comp we're going for is goblins. Obviously, the goblin machine is a goblin, so we only need one more. And what I'm going to go with is the Dark Goblin, and as I said last game, I'm going to play Rangers. I'm going to use the Skeleton Dragons, which pretty underappreciated, and I would say that's pretty fair because they never get value. But my hope is that maybe, since nobody likes them, I can level them up pretty easily, and then hopefully the Juggernauts can stall long enough that they get enough splits to boost their DPS enough that they can get some value. It's a little far-fetched, but we'll see if I can pull it off. We got a 2-star Valk and a Goblin machine, so we might do all right. The Valk will do solidly against these witches here, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, the Goblin and the machine are going to struggle a little bit. Luckily, his rocket was locked onto the witch, so we're getting some good stun out of it. Now, I don't like that this guy's going Skeleton Dragons, but they get melted pretty easy by the Valk, and he'll probably get rid of them pretty soon. I think we should be able to just stick it out with this build. Should survive enough rounds that we can get our comp going. I'm going to grab the Dark Goblin next round and start looking for my Skeleton Dragons. This guy's going for Rangers. This guy's going for Undead. A little worrisome, but hopefully, I mean, there is a chance that neither of them go for Skeleton Dragons. They're pretty bad. Okay, Skeleton Dragons, sick. I'll hang on to them just in case other people are going for them. We don't have Assassins, just checking. Yeah, we're good. All right, we're in a very solid spot with our 3-star machine. That'll clean up this guy's backline pretty well. He does have a Skeleton Dragon, so I'm going to wait till we beat him and then grab the Knight. So we should get the Skeleton Dragon in shop, maybe, if we're lucky. No, but I don't think anybody else is going to pick him up. Okay, there is somebody with Assassins, so remind me to keep an eye out for that. That guy's going Rangers, so we should get a Dark Goblin pretty much as fast as we physically can. Jeez, we got baked by this guy's Assassins because I was planning for the other guy. But we're still going to beat him, if only slimly, and take him out, which is nice. But that could have been a lot worse if that was in the next game. So if there's one thing that you learn from this video, it should be to check your opponents. We're not having a lot of luck in the Ranger department. We have very strong Juggernauts. Maybe? Yes, dude. Huge. Okay, we got the 3-star Skeleton Dragons. This guy probably has our Dark Goblins. Wait, he switched to Assassin. Sneaky. Wow. Good play by him. Not getting any Dark Goblin, and we can't really go for Goblins and look for a Dark Goblin, so I think I ought to just block what he's going for, which the things we can block are the Golden Knight and the Barb and the Princess. So grab the Princess now. Placement-wise, probably something like this, I suppose. and hopefully we'll give the skeleton dragon some space to spawn. Goes with the prince. He has a 4-star goblin. That's a little worrisome. Mega Knight. This guy's making a lot of rotations, but I honestly don't think it's going to be enough for him to beat us because our comp is looking really strong. Placement-wise, dude, we're getting huge value out of the skeleton dragons. Oh my. Jeez. Wow, that's amazing. That's the best performance I've ever seen from the skeleton dragons. Next up, we got... Oh, it's trait dummy. I guess I'm just going to play like normal. I didn't really plan for this, to be honest. What I would do if I got trait dummy. I guess I'll just run the comp I was going to run. I mean, it doesn't give me an extra trait, so I guess it still counts. My favorite comp to use this season, the one I've made, has been Juggernaut's Assassins with the Golden Knight and the Goblin, and that's what we're going to play. It's going to be tough to top the performance from the Skeleton Dragons last game, not going to lie, but if there's any comp that's going to do it, it's this one. We're going to take a loss here in this round, but yeah, trait dummy is mostly going to be a disadvantage since I'm not really taking advantage of the traits. I mean, I guess I am getting some early Juggernaut shields. I'll get to level 2 and 4 of Juggernauts a little bit earlier, but shouldn't make too much of a difference in the performance of the comp overall, because most of my troops at this point would be shielded anyway. Yeah, I think I'll just wait like this. We do have our 4 Juggernauts, technically. Put the Knight in front. We gotta win there. We'll cycle this Archer, and then we'll see about putting this comp together. Okay, hopefully I can merge a Spear Goblin. I'm not gonna cheat it and just go with 3 Juggernauts and rely on the boost to carry me. I could do that, I guess, but no, I'm not gonna. Gotta be true to the challenge. Probably cycle. That's a little ambitious, not gonna lie. Yeah, we might take the loss for that, to be honest, but I think it'll be worth it. Okay, we have our 5 Juggernauts now, and we'll just keep an eye out for our Assassins. I haven't seen anyone else go for it, but it does give us a little bit of help having the dummy in front. Gives us extra shields and all. But overall, I still think it benefits the other players more for giving them extra trait opportunities that we're not taking advantage of since the challenge we're doing. Jeez, this guy's actually cheating. Did you see he had 2 axes out? It would be a good time now to, maybe like this, to get a goblin. That's what I need. Do I take the goblin now? I think I'm going to risk it. Hope that I get another goblin. Bad buy there. Stab goblin, please. Please. No goblin. Man, that's unfortunate. I could have sold the machine and kept going if I had more time, but we'll just sit this round with no assassins. Nobody's really going for them, so I think we should be able to get our assassins soon. I think our comp will win this round too if the Golden Knight can get good value. That's what it's going to hinge on. Nice. Yeah, there it is. Huge. We got our comp now. I think I'll just wait it out for that, but hopefully we don't take too much splash from that XC. Blocking wise, I think we're mostly gonna have to wait and see how it pans out with our final opponent, because I think we'll beat this guy, but I don't know if we'll do it in a very convincing amount. So he'll probably still have a lot of health, and we'll be against the final guy remaining. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. Well, we're not knocking him out here, but we did take out a lot of his health. Regardless, he's probably going to be our last opponent because if we're lucky, we can take out the other guy this coming round. And we have a pretty strong comp, maybe strong enough to do it, so I'll probably cycle there and then see if I can get my hands on a couple more Golden Knights. Oh, tough spot. Cycled the Goblin, maybe? Okay, we got our Golden Knight and Goblin back up. A little bit more elixir to our names. Blocking-wise, I'm not too worried. They're blocking each other's giant skeletons, which is the big thing. Mage I don't like, but we're all shielded, so it's not really concerning, actually. Huh. Tough to say, a little bit. Alright, we're against the dead guy. Sweet. Maybe one of these guys will knock out the other, but there is a solid chance that they just both survive. Not sure. I think I'll clear out space and elixir just in case one of them gets knocked out. Doesn't look like it happened though. Yeah, so Still got our opponents remaining in the game. I'm hoping that the one who's blocking me, whichever one of them that might be, gets knocked out. I think this guy getting knocked out would be more advantageous for us, but unfortunately he's against the dead guy, so he's probably going to be our final opponent. This guy, we're blocking his Mega Knight. This guy, we're blocking his Giant Skeleton, so I want to hold on to the Giant Skeleton, I think. I think I'll sit with this comp for now, and then I'll merge and sell the Mega Knight next round once this guy is hopefully gone. Because then I'll be more free to do that since I'm blocking him right now. Alright, those 3 stars are a little worrying, and unfortunately our Golden Knight's dead, so we're not going to be getting much help there. It's probably going to come down to how much value we get out of these goblins, but honestly, I don't know if we can pull off this win here, because that knight was kind of hidden, but yikes, dude. Pretty poor performance by my main comp, to be honest. A little disappointed, but it happens sometimes. We're getting blocked. We got bad matchups. We'll see what happens in the next game. I don't think the dummy here is going to make a difference, so I'm just going to try and go for our comp regularly. I mean, I guess I'll take advantage of it for now, but it's not really going to make a difference in the long run, having that dummy. It helps a little bit early, but we're not going to use it on our comp. Next is aces, and for the ace, we're going to play P.E.K.K.A. Bandit, and I'll just tell you right now, Aces is one of the comps that I'm more concerned about because Aces got a huge nerf since last season. Last season, they were often used like 2 Aces in stuff like Clan Avengers, and you could buff up like an Archer Queen to be way stronger if you made her your captain. But this season, the Aces buffs only affect other Aces. So it's a lot less worth it to use them, especially when it's generally just not worth it to get them above 2 aces to go all the way to 4 aces. My strategy is to buff up the bandit, shield her up with the juggernauts, make her the captain of the aces, and then hopefully she'll be able to make a big difference in the opponent's back line. This challenge is turning out to be a lot harder than I expected, just because of how limiting it is to kind of decide your comp before the game and try and force it out. If you have a main comp that you use like every game, it's gonna cost you a little bit of temporary rating, but I highly suggest learning a bunch more comps. Just try a bunch of stuff out so that you're comfortable if you ever can't play the thing you normally play. That level of comfort will end up winning you a lot more games in the future. This is a bit of a challenge placement-wise because I'm not really sure what the optimal way to do things is gonna be. Also, that was a really funny knock by the Prince. It knocked it like completely backwards. I might slide all my troops over to the left so that I can put the bandit and the skeleton king on the right, but that might not be very worth it. Tough to say. But anyways, we're in the top 2, so if we want to win, we're gonna need to level up a bit more. But see, these aces, it buffs the strongest ace now instead of just your strongest troop. So right now our bandit has 40% bonus damage, and it's a lot stronger, as you can see, if you get it to 4 aces instead of 2. Unfortunately, we're not going to be doing that. Huge knight at the last second. Yeah, we're not going to be getting 4 aces, and that's not going to be something that you commonly get this season, I feel like. But if you do get 4 aces, it is still very strong. Okay, you can see our bandit is doing good stunning that Dark Goblin, which is going to help us out a lot against what I believe is Rangers. Yeah. But yeah, that is a big difference maker in this game, in this matchup in particular against Rangers. I think, honestly, we're going to take the win this round, but I'll grab the Mega Knight just in case. But yeah, this comp is performing pretty well. Like, look at that stun from the bandit. Look at all the shield we're able to put on her, and that bonus damage is really helpful. So yeah, that was a pretty good example of the power that you can get from aces. I would say a little bit underrated, especially with the bandit. We're halfway in, 5 wins, 1 loss, but this video is getting long, so if you want to see the rest of the comps and find out how well I did in the end, part 2 drops in the next couple of days, so subscribe so that you don't miss it. If you have any questions about merge tactics, I will answer them in the comments, or you can ask me on stream. I'm probably live right now. Okay, goodbye.